All right, so to close out today, the tool of the day is gonna be vacuum, specifically these BOSCH vacuums. So I got a, let's say it's a 14 gallon. Yep, that's what it's, that's why it's a VAC140 alpha. And then I got a VAC140A 9 gallon, right? So I got two of these units. Initially got that one, and I initially got it because I figured I'd just get a larger capacity. Why not? Would I ever want to fill that vacuum up to max capacity? No. Luckily, it's on wheels, right? As you can see, it's on a frame. It's on a frame, and it also has these little lock-in tabs for brakes on both of these swivel casters. So two lock-in swivel casters on the front. Two fixed casters on the back. So let's start. So this thing has a standard 120, by the way, right there. It has an outlet here for a plug. Let's try to put these. Let me try to put these together so you can see that they're pretty much the same except for size. Outlet for plug on both of them. They pretty much have the same controls: power tool activation, off and on. Try to twist up the selector knob. It's pretty much the same. It's all about capacity. And then you got the power broker, which is almost like your amperage. And that gives you more cleaning second power, I guess. So I always just leave it at this full capacity. You got this automatic filter cleaning, which is one of the awesome features about this. Basically what it does is like every 15 seconds or so, you hear like an internal implosion where it's actually blowing back air or pressure against the filter in an attempt to clean it out. So it's basically like back cleaning, if you will. What else is there? I don't have the hose connected to this one. I think it's in that cardboard box over there, but this one has a hose connected, and it's just a twist lock. See if I can lock this wheel. And while we already talked about wheel already, this one is a matter of, this just has those little furniture, like furniture wheels, if you will, and it only has one lock on one. So this is way more heavy duty. They both have the same wheels in the back, effectively speaking. But this is just a twist lock. I think it's just gummed up right now. It's just, let me see. This might get sporty. Yeah, it's just gumped up. And you can see it. It's just a lot of gump on it. So, and it's kind of keyed, so you get it in one way. Using these little tabs on it, you can see it. It's keyed. Put it in, and then you twist it, and it locks. It's not going to go anywhere. The hose is about, I don't know, if I had to guess, probably about 8 foot. It's probably an 8 foot hose. You can see it, plenty long. Like I said, both of the hoses are similar, but I just don't have that one accessible. You have this little, these little lock-in tabs right here, and you pretty much just push them in, and then you can pull off the ends and reattach it. I don't remember how much fittings it came with, but it also came with this one. Damn it. It also came with this one. And those little red lock-in tabs, they just snap into here, and it just fits on there. And this is rubber, so this is less marring. Another feature of this nozzle is that it has this little relief here, this opening, and you can open or close it, and it pretty much draws in extra air through there. So that's one feature of that. So both of them come with the standard fit in right here. I just tucked this one back here. Like I said, I think the next one is, I'm pretty certain is buried in here. After I moved, I kind of packed it up. And then on the back, you got these little, you know, places where you can put different fittings and stuff. All that. A place where you can wrap the cord on this one. And then you got this tab right here on the small one. Same thing on the big one. You got a huge carrying handle up here. Plenty big, plenty strong. Pretty much boat design. Before I go on, these things, they have these tabs. So I think it's on the back. Could be wrong. Actually, no, it's on the box. But it has these boxes. They call L boxes. And I have one of them. It's right here. And they come in different sizes, and these little tabs right here, there's one on the next side, it pretty much locks into the box. So in this box, I have a bunch of like vacuum accessories and stuff I normally keep on top of this big one. And it just locks into these little footprints. This one, you got these two tabs on the side. And all it is, it just snaps down, pull up. That's all it is. Just gonna lock the casters real quick. So that's all it is. It's not cosmetic. It just snaps, and then you're ready to remove it. Inside, you notice there's a bag in here. They sell them, and then you just attach them to the vacuum port. And so whatever dust you collect, it collects right in here instead of in the canister. Now these are wet dry vacs, so you do have a port down there. But yeah, these bags this one is clean. Well, it sounds like it has some stuff in there, but nonetheless, it's meant to trap much of the contaminants. And you'll see that in that bag. In that vacuum, I didn't put a bag in. I'm almost regretting it already. Oh. Really like these straps on the side. So after you have your hose and you want to wrap it around the exterior of the unit, then you can use these elastic bands and then hook it over this little lip. Same thing on this side, and that will help to contain them. And as you can see, this one has it also. You look at the main head of the unit, the power, it looks to be pretty robust. You do have a filter in here, and this is where you have that blowback. And this again is a HEPA filter. So HEPA, I forgot what it exactly stands for, but it basically is meant to trap very fine particles like sawdust and drywall dust and all this stuff. And as you can see, this is pretty clean because I've only used it mostly for the car. And you can see it has a seal around here that goes around it to make it pretty airproof. So there's that. This, like I said, pretty much the same setup, except this one you're gonna see is a lot dirtier, which I'm not proud of. I should have. So when I was working on the house, drywall dust, I just vacuum my return air duct to my AC and vacuum the back of the washers and dryers. But as you can see, even with the blowback, I did not attach a bag right here. And I'm instantly regretting it because I'm gonna have to use compressed air and try to get that as clean as possible, and potentially buy a new filter because the blowback is really not, I'm pretty sure it's effective, but it's defeated the purpose without a bag. So I'm not saying you can't do it like this, but ideally you want to do it like this, have a bag. And that way the bag is it's not reusable. I guess you could try to shake out all the contents, but you know, that's the purpose of the bag, to trap all the contents so you don't have to deal with that extra dust. So all this dust and gunk, I'm gonna have to wash this out. Again, this is a wet dry, so I can wash this out. This power head obviously is more sensitive, so I'm just gonna have to use high pressure air and blow it off. And even if I use a power washer, 1 or 2 passes real quick to get it off and not dosing this thing with water. But I'm gonna have to address this. And the reason why I just noticed that, and I even decided to do the video, is because, like I said, I was backing up my return air ducting from my AC on the side of the house on the 2nd floor, and then, trying to get all the dust from behind the dryer and washer area, because those are inaccessible for the most part. So, and I noticed that the vacuum was a little bit warm, and that's because all that heat is building up because it's working harder. So to prolong the useful life of this vacuum head, I'm gonna clean it up. And both of them are the same thing, as you can see by design. They're literally the same thing. So I could put this one on this smaller one, but really it doesn't really matter. So I gotta clean this up and try to contain all this dust you can see on the floor. But as far as price, I mean, you're looking at maybe $600 and $400. So in all, there's $1,000 in vacuums. Do you need a $600, $400 vacuum? No, but I will tell you, I do have a regular shop vac, which I've used and I continue to use for those dirtier jobs. So in which case, whenever I go on top of my roof to clean up that dirty pigeon crap, I'm gonna take my shop vac up there because I don't really care if it gets destroyed. I've had this for several years. This has done me well. It's still functional, but these are bulkier, they're heavier. I'm not gonna take that on top of the roof. Plus, if that thing falls off the roof, I just don't want to deal with that stuff. So yeah, this would be more powerful, but this is for still dirty jobs. But for those jobs where it's so dirty, yeah, I already use my shop vac, which I don't really care about. I also have a little DeWalt 20-volt vacuum that I use for smaller projects around the house or smaller vacuum needs. That works just for portability, smaller stuff. But when it comes to heavy duty stuff, like working with drywall, working with thin set and grout and cleaning up a project, this is a thing that you want to use because the vacuum or vacuum in your car, this is the thing you want to use. And I really like this bag and I like the blowback feature. This vacuum itself, this bigger 14-gallon one, I actually hooked it up to my 50-foot hose reel right here. And this is what I use to vacuum the car. And it has plenty of suction power at full length. Maybe you'll have better suction at 25 foot, but I wanted the length so I can get out to my car. Obviously this is not mounted because I'm still trying to figure out this garage, but at the previous house it was sitting on the floor. This was on the floor and that was mounted above it. And I have the other piece over there to hook it up. An idea that I've been playing with is do I get more CFM if I hook these up in a series, in parallel? Would they provide a combined suction power of say 1200 CFM? Because I want to say each of them is 600 CFM. If I'm using that unit correctly to describe it. But awesome quality machines as far as vacuum goes. I've seen one other review of these. It talks about, being able to, roll it over cores and stuff, all that stuff. It works, especially if you flip it backwards. Obviously, if you have it flat, you're gonna be a little more challenged, but you can drag it across anything. This one does not have a handle. This one is the only one. The 14 gallon is the only one that has a handle. I suspect because they think it's gonna be heavier. This one does not have a handle. Per se, with the exception of they both have the carrying handle. See, I'll just demonstrate what I was talking about. This, there we go. So it just has this little red thing, and you just squeeze it together, and it locks in, and then you kind of just align them. And they just clip back in place. And it just holds it. So yeah, I haven't used this feature of plugging anything into it. I haven't used the power tool portion because you would have to, hook up the power tool to the vacuum which I do have to sand my cabinets, so I'll probably end up doing that. Hook it up to the, you know, orbital sander, and I'll definitely have a bag inside of it, whether I'm using that one or this one. Probably this one. I use this one for dirtier jobs and that one for my cars, but it will help to, you know, keep down on the dust control as you're sanding. But yeah, overall, these are quality vacuums. I'm happy about it. If I find anything about this, I'll let you know about. I'll do a video on it. Depends on how well I'm able to clean it up. But, you know, with some compressed air and stuff, you know, maybe blow it off with my larger yard leaf blower, you know, from a distance, so all that dust is gone, and then use compressed air to clean it up a lot more, and maybe buy a new filter. And I do know I have some bags for this one. I don't have any bags for that one. It might come with two. I believe this is one. This might be one of those bags. Yeah. So I believe this is one of those bags. So made in Vietnam, and it has a little neck right there. I don't know why I did not put this on there. So whenever I clean it up, I'm certainly gonna put a bag on there, and I'll never use it without a bag anymore, because I tell you what, I filled up one of these bags, or partially, and you just pull this tab and you pull it off, and you just throw it in the trash, and you know your vacuum is this clean. So yeah, gonna put this back together, roll it to the side, and hopefully I'll get back to cleaning that one up eventually. But I expect these things to last me a lifetime with care of usage. Unless I absolutely need to use the wet, dry vac portion, I won't necessarily vacuum up water unless it's absolutely critical, like the house is flooding or something. Then I'll be like, okay, I'll vacuum up water. But otherwise, I'll just probably figure out some other way to clean up water. Anyway, I don't think I missed anything critical. I mean, obviously there's way more specs. I don't have a spec sheet here. These are a year and change old at this point, so I don't know. I don't remember all the specs about it, but you can look it up, look at the part number, see what the going cost of these nowadays is. Probably over 700, probably over 500 respectively. But anyway, as I always say, like, and I hate anything.